for fuck's sake. Fuck's sake. That was a good intro. That was such a good intro. And now it doesn't exist. Ugh. Anyway, welcome to this wonderful carriage ride through a lovely starry sky while I try to remember what this intro was. No running around today. We're just going to be sitting on our asses. This is the Bridie Smith natural habitat, so we're happy with this. Well, we just go through some we're in the rice fields, motherfucker. Also, the fact that I didn't do the Skyrim intro, I'm actually very butthurt about that, and I will admit I missed that. I was muted. I could have told you that I did do the Skyrim intro, but I didn't. Boo. Hello everyone and welcome. This is Bridie Smith live in the Forbidden Library. Hello Xnam. Hello Mr. Phantom. Hello Howdy. Hello Rahel. Hello Brathian. Hello Nimby. Hello anyone voting. Hello anyone lurking. Welcome to today's stream. As is, all hello Dead Excalibur. All wonderful romantic carriage rides should have. We're gonna start with, and it's a romantic carriage ride tradition. Spreadsheets. We all love a good spreadsheet, right? And I did a thing. Apparently, I've gotten through more books than I thought. I sorted out my spreadsheet finally so that I have some auto numbering going on rather than, just typing things. Carriage rides are romantic? Yes. Yes, they are. Only it's the main problem is when the horse poops. That's when it's not so romantic. But luckily this is a digital horse and digital horses don't poop. Yay! Although that would be wild if I stayed in this world long enough that it was programmed for this horse to poop like once every 2 hours. That would be crazy. You can claim you made the most amazing intro when muted, and chat just has to take your word for it. They do. Aren't they bumpy and noisy too? I mean, it depends where you're having the carriage ride, methinks. Anyway, I got some comic books and shit to add. And there is an actual book. As you can hear. That's the sound of the book. But comic books first. Little things first, then comic books. And then we have to do some maths. Right. No Place issue 3, which was this, but this even. Here's a comic by these guys. Tis a series this year. So Bridie's intro was just tribute from Tenacious D. Potentially. But, that would just be a tribute. It was a better one than that. You gotta believe me. And I wish you were there. It's just a matter of opinion. Oh yeah, I started the Nightmare Before Christmas comic. It's called The Shiver of Christmas Town. So it's Nightmare Before Christmas, obviously, set after the movie, where they're gonna do a Halloween in Christmas Town. They're gonna show Christmas Town what Halloween is for fun, and obviously everything will go fine. Who wrote this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the thing with comic books. There's a writer, an artist, a letterer, a main cover artist, 2 main cover artists, an editor, and a managerial editor. This is a lot of people. I think I'm just going to go writer and artist, and I'm just going to put their first names. Torren, maybe not. Beck. And Edu Mena. We'll just go for those 2. That's a lot of people. A lot of people make comics, and good on them. Nightmare for Christmas. I know a place you can ride a horse and carriage. Wonderful. Why did I put the one I just did? Oh, I just put it at the bottom of the path. That's fine. I do like a bit of SCP. Sometimes I'll do an SCP stream, and that is about the number of SCPs I will read in a singular SCP stream. Then we have a Ghost Pepper issue 6. I have 7 and 8 as well, but I just haven't read them yet. I started reading one of them today, but I didn't get around to finishing it. Comic Series 2026. I love this one. Mary Sue issue. This one too? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yes, 2. I've got issue 2, 3, and 4 that I read recently. Not Mary Sue, but Mary Sue's kind of wonderful for me, especially because it's all about fanfic Mary Sue's. It's wonderful. It's about a girl whose Mary Sue comes to life, and she gets to meet her, and she's having lots of personal issues in life, and it's all very dramatic and teenagery and very, very reminiscent of my life. Very relatable. Except for the fact she actually talks to her fanfic community. I never did that. Why would I speak to people? God. Okay, last one. This one's actually a novel, I swear. This may be familiar. Princess Case is still my name. Novel by P.D. Bull. As you all know, this is part of the series that I am recording the official audiobook for. And wonderful news on that. I finished the recording of the second book just yesterday, actually. So, that's very fun. We're on the internet to avoid speaking to people. Yeah! People are scary. Can't help it. So, yeah, my next full audiobook should be coming out fairly soon. Hopefully next month, actually. Hopefully. Assuming we get through it. All the faff in between, you know? All the updating. So that's 340. Are you going into video books? I would love to. Like, if I could animate, or if I could, like, have the time to draw scenes, I would happily do, like, videos for my books and stuff like that. That would be so much fun. I know you said JK, but JK, non-JK, I would love to do. I need my calculator. 10,000 take 340. Not 240. 340. 9,660 to go. We're getting there. Somehow, some way. We might be fueled mostly by comic books, but you know, it is over 9,000! That's how many we've got left. Over 9,000. That's a hell of a power level. Soon, TM. Soon. For now, let's save that. And open this up. Let's do some reading. So what was going on? What are books anyway? They have words and they give us wonderful stories, and that's all books are. And so as long as it has words and it gives you a wonderful story. I want to be looking at the camera. There we go. Without like looking around too much. Yeah. Then it counts on my list. Hello, Doppel! Long last, I have completed my trailer for Mind Tale. May I repose? I now may repose with an easy mind. Wonderful. They're like movies, but with all the good bits left. I would like to tell you you're wrong, but you're not entirely wrong. But we do like a book. I like a book. Book in it. Anyway. So we were following the tale of Sir Gareth, aka Sir Yowie Hands, who is the youngest of 4 knights, which include Gawain, Agravain, and Gaheris. He, however, was an unknown brother to them, and was left in the kitchen. And then he went on a quest where a tsundere told him did not believe he could ever be a knight because he was from the kitchen, and was insulted, in fact, that she would take his quest. And eventually something like, and then there was another lady who was like, "Yay, you saved me, but go away, I don't like you yet." And then as soon as she left, she's like, "Oh no, what did I do? He's actually royalty, because he's the king's cousin or some shit." The parents of the 4 knights love the letter G. They do! So they must hate Agravain. They just have a thing. Like, Agravain in particular came out and they were just like, nah. Nah, aggravated is. They're like movies, but if a character can be described with dark skin and is clearly not white, they begin cast with the whitest actor. Yes, they can. Aggravate is just aggravating. So Lady Lyons, I believe, was the lady in the castle who got saved by Gareth. But then when Gareth went to, like, you know, meet with the damsel was like, "No, Gareth, you're not high enough level for me, Mr. Yowie Hands. I don't know, you're not of proper birth. And then she captured Gareth's dwarf friend, who is basically his squire. And then the dwarf friend was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, he's royalty." And she's like, "Oh no, I made such a mistake. I shall tarry hither and repose a spell, whilst I lend an ear to your narration." "No problem, Doppel. You relax and listen to a tale of nonsense from the far past." She replied to the king. When she heard the message, she promised she would come forthwith, and told Sir Gareth what the messenger had said, and asked him what to do. I pray you," said he, "tell them not where I am, but when my lord King Arthur asketh for me, advise him thus, that he proclaim a tournament before this castle on Assumption Day, and that the knight who proveth best shall win yourself and all your lands." Ah, yes, so she accepted Gareth. Hello, Wallace, welcome. And then he was, like, King Arthur was getting worried at this point. He sent Gareth on a quest a long time ago. And so when the messenger came, he was like, "Da-da-da, no one says Phantom has been a member for a very long time! 25 months. Good lord. Thank you." Such fertility. 2 months away from 3 pregnant. That's fucking that's just terrifying. He's still here? Still here? Thank you. After so much pain. After carrying it for so long, you're still here. Appreciate you. Thank you for being a member for so long. What was I saying? Oh yeah, and he was for some reason like, "I'll be the bestest of the bestest knights and beat up all the other knights, and then I will have you and your lands." Your hips are strong. So the Lady Lyons departed and came to King Arthur's court, and there was right nobly welcomed. And when they asked her where Sir Gareth was, She said she could not tell. But Lord, said she, with thy good will I proclaim a tournament before my castle on the feast of Assumption, whereof the prize shall be myself and all my lands. Then if it be proclaimed that you, Lord, and your knights will be there, I will find knights on my side to fight you and yours, and thus I am sure ye will hear tidings of Sir Gareth. Be it so done, replied the king. So Sir Gareth sent messengers privately to Sir... I believe this is two of the Knights of Colour. Knights of Colour? That's not right. Two of the Power Rangers we met along the way. Because Gareth beat up 2 red knights, 1 blue knight, 1 black knight, and 1 green knight on the way to see this lady. To Sir Pennicent and Sir Ironside, and charged them to be ready on the day appointed. Oh yeah, and each one of them gave him an army, basically, with their companies of knights to aid him and his party against the king. And when they were arrived, he said, Now be ye well assured that we shall be marched with the best knights of the world, and therefore must we gather all the good knights we can find. Go, go, Power Rangers, Knights of Colour. So, proclamation was made through all England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, and Cornwall, because obviously Cornwall wasn't part of England yet. And in the out isles, the other countries, and that at the feast of Assumption of Our Lady, next coming all knights who came to joust at Castle Perilous should make choice whether they would side with the king or with the castle. Then came many good knights on the side of the castle. Sir Epinogris, the son of the king of Northumberland, and Sir Palamedes of Sacron, and Sir Grummorson, a good knight of Scotland. Grummorson, the good knight of Scotland. And Sir Brian de Isles, a noble knight, and Sir Cardos of the Tower of Dolores, and Sir Tristram, who as yet was not a knight of the Round Table. Ah, Newbie, a future knight of the Round Table, and many others, but none among them knew Sir Gareth, for he took no more upon him than any mean person. Scotland! Pray tell, are you presently astride a buoyant vessel, one capable of traversing the heavens? Horse. We are in a romantically lovely horse-drawn carriage. And that'd be nice, because then we have like a bit of a moving scenery background. But I don't have to move so much. I can focus on the reading a little more. It's been very fun doing the running streams, don't get me wrong. And I will do them every so often, but maybe not every time. It'll get boring if I do it every time. Gotta keep you on your toes. Unpredictable. Yeah. And on King Arthur's side there came the King of Ireland, and the King of Scotland, and the noble prince, Sir Galahort, Sir Gawain, and his brothers, Sir Agravain, and Sir Gaheris, and Sir Owain, Sir Tor, Sir Percival, and Sir Lamrock, Sir Lancelot also, and his kindred, Sir Lionel, Sir Ector, Sir Bors, and Sir Bedivere, likewise Sir Key, and most part of the Round Table. The 2 queens, Queen Guinevere and the Queen of Orkney, Sir Gareth's mother, came with the king. So there was a great array both within and without the castle, with all manner of feasting and minstrelsy. Minstrelness. Minstrels. The chocolate. Sir Gareth, who never heard of him? So yeah, we hands. All right, that's the geezer. That's the geezer. He's right now, innit? He is. He's right now, yeah. Don't need the A in there. You're nearly there. Oh my god, I saw a funny TikTok. Well, no, my fiance had a funny TikTok on and I heard it. It was all the ways the British use piss as slang. It was like 12 different ways the British use piss as slang and it was hilarious. It was so good. Anyway, now, before the tournament began, Sir Gareth Privy prayed Dame Linus and Sir Gringamores, Sir Ironside and Sir Pheasant per saint that they would in no wise disclose his name, nor more of him than any common knight. Then Lady Lioness, dear lord, I pray thee take this ring, which hath the power to change the wearer's clothing into any colour he may will, and guardeth him from any loss of blood. But give it me again, I pray thee, when the tournament is done, for it greatly increaseth my beauty, whensoever I wear it. Oh my. She has an invulnerability beauty ring. Versatile word, innit? It is! It's almost like, it's not quite as versatile as the F word, but you're almost as good. Gramercy, mine own lady, said Sir Gareth, I wished for nothing better, for now I may be certainly disguised as long as I will. Then Sir Gringamores gave Sir Gareth a bay coursier that was a passing good horse, with sure armour and a noble sword won by his father from a heathen tyrant, and then every night made him ready for the torture. Allah, forgive my blunder, I perceived you upon a boat, drifting on yonder lake, and not, as 'tis, astride a chariot. I could see why you would think that. The rice fields around do make it look like I'm on a boat. And I did put this kind of in the way of the thing. But no, it would look very similar anyway. I mean, I say that about lucky sweatpants, and that's because they're comfy. Versatile pants? Versatile pants. Sorry, I just processed lucky sweatpants. Do you have any stories as to why these sweatpants became lucky for you? I would love to know. On the day of the Assumption, when the mass and the mates were said, the heralds blew their trumpets and sounded for the tourney. Anon came out the knights of the castle, and the knights of King Arthur, and matched themselves together. When Sir Esporgus, son of the King of Northumberland, and knight of the castle, encountered Sir Owain, and broke off their spears short to their hands, then came Sir Palapilipupu from the castle, and met Sir Gawain, and they so hardly smote each other that both knights and horse fell to the earth. Then Sir Tristram from the castle encountered with Sir Bedivere, and smote him to the earth, horse and man. Then the Knight of Redlands and Sir Gareth met with Sir Bors and Sir Bleoberis, and the Knights of the Redlands and Sir Bors smote each other so hard that their spears burst, and their horses fell grovelling to the ground. And Sir Bleoberis brake his spear upon Sir Gareth, but himself was hurled to the ground. When Sir Galihodin saw that, he bade Sir Gareth keep him, but Sir Gareth lightly smote him to the earth. Then Sir Galihud got a spear to avenge his brother, but was served in like manner. And Sir Dinadam of Dimmadales and his brother La Cote Militaire, and Sir Sacremort le Désiré, that's definitely fucking French, and Doninas le Savage, I know it's the savage, he bore down, all with one spear. The King Anguish of Ireland saw this. He marvelled what the knight could be who seemed at one time green and at another blue. For so at every course he changed his colour, and none might know him. Then he ran towards him and encountered him, and Sir Gareth smote the king from his horse, saddle and all, and in like manner he served the King of Scotland, and King Urience of Gaul, and King Badger. This is how you say it. These are most certainly the correct pronunciations. I keep hearing smote as smoked. And I'm imagining these knights wrapping each other up in large blankets and taking puffs of them after lighting them on fire. Definitely some strange flavours, as much for this for sure. Then Sir Galahad, the noble prince, cried out, Knight of many colours, thou hast jousted well. Now make thee ready to joust with me. Howdy. King Matty. Yeah. Correct. When Sir Gareth heard him, he took a great spear and met him swiftly, and the prince's spear broke, but Sir Gareth smote him on the left side of his helm, so that he reeled here and there, and had fallen down had not his men recovered him. By my faith, said King Arthur, that knight of the many colours is a good knight. I pray thee, Sir Lancelot de Lake, encounter with him. Hey, he looks tough. Lancelot! Bring out the big guns! Smite just used to mean cut. I really need to start using smote more often. In what context in real life would you use smote? I don't know. I smoked my chicken in the oven. I smote my audiobook and gained victory by its completion. I don't know, maybe. Cooking, when you say smitted instead of cut. Ah, you smote your vegetables asunder. Lord, said Sir Lancelot, by thy leave, I will forbear. I find it in my heart to spare him at this time, for he hath done enough work for one day. And when a good knight doth so well, it is no knightly part to hinder him from his honour. And peradventure his quarrel is here today, and he may be the best beloved of the Lady Lions, of all that be here. For I see, well, he paineth and forceth himself to do great deeds. Therefore, as for me, this day he shall have the honour, for though I were able to put him from it, I would not. Lancelot, bring out the big guns! No. He clearly wants the woman. For once, I do not want the woman. I'm sorry, my king. I'm not interested in this woman. I'm only interested in your wife. You speak well and truly, said the king. Then, after the telling, they drew swords, and there began a great tournament, where there Sir Lancelot did marvellous deeds of arms. For first he fought both Tristram and Sir Cardos, albeit they the most perilous in all the world. Then came Sir Gareth, and put them asunder, but would not smite a stroke against Sir Lancelot, for by him he had been knighted. Anon Sir Gareth's helm had need of mending, and he rode aside to see to it. and to drink water, for he was sore athirst with all his mighty feats of strength. And while he drank, his dwarf said to him, "Give me your ring, lest ye lose it while ye drink." So Gareth took it off, and when he had finished drinking, he rode back eagerly into the field, and in haste forgot to take the ring again. He do Lancelot, he is an experienced jouster, and it's in his name. Then all the people saw that he wore yellow armour, and King Arthur told the herald, "Ride and espy the cognizance of that brave knight, for I have asked many who he is, and none can tell me." Then the herald rode near, and saw round about his helmet in letters of gold, Sir Gareth of Orkney. And instantly the herald cried his name aloud, and all men pressed to see him. But when he saw he was discovered, he pushed with haste through all the crowd, and cried to his dwarf, "Boy, thou hast beguiled me foully in keeping my ring. Give it me again, that I may be hidden." And as soon as he had put it on, his armour changed again. And no man knew where he had gone. Then he passed forth from the field, but Sir Gawain, his brother, rode after him. And when Sir Gareth had ridden far into the forest, he took off his ring, and sent it back by the dwarf to Lady Lyons, praying her to be true and faithful to him while he was away. Then rode Sir Gareth long through the forest till night fell, and coming to a castle, he went up to the gates and prayed the porter to let him in. But churlishly he answered that he should not lodge here. Then said Sir Gareth, "Tell thy lord and lady that I am a knight of Arthur's court, and for his sake I pray their shelter." With the porter went to the Duchess, who owned the castle. "Let him in straight away," she cried. "For the king's sake, he shall not be harbourless." I just love the way Bryony says Orkney. Orkney, 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 Orkney. Orkney. How else would you say it? How would a Orkney? Orkney? Arkney? Orkney. Orkney. Orkney? I think that sounds a little southern, doesn't it? Orkney. Book. Well, Southerners go book, don't they? So it'd be like Orkney. But that sounds almost a little hard. I'm bad at accents. Have you ever known? I have one, and it's me own. And went down to receive him. When Sir Gareth saw her, he saluted her, and said, "Fair lady, I pray you forgive me shelter this night. And if there be here any champion or giant with whom I must needs fight, spare me till tomorrow, when I and my horse shall have rested, for we are full weary." "Sir knight," she said, "thou speakest boldly, for the lord of this castle is a foe to King Arthur and his court. And if thou wilt rest here tonight, thou must agree that wheresoever thou mayest meet lord, thou must yield to him as a prisoner." "What is thy lord's name, lady?" said Sir Gareth. "The Duke de la Rose." She said, "I promise to thee." "I promise to thee," said he, to yield to him, if he promises to do me no harm. If he refuse, I will release myself with my sword and spear." I do not understand Gareth at all. So, he, successfully did his quest. Then he was like, "I'm gonna go kick all of Arthur's knights without them knowing who I am." And then rather than, finish the tournament, he just kind of runs off into the forest. and then comes across another castle when enemy castle and is just like, well, if you let me nap here, I'll be your prisoner. This makes no sense, but no sense. You know what? Being a prisoner doesn't sound too bad if I can have a nap. It is well, said the Duchess, and commanded the drawbridge to be let down. So he rode into the hall and alighted. And when he had taken off his armour, the Duchess and her ladies made him passing good cheer. And after supper his bed was made in the hall, and there he rested that night. What? Beep! More members! Oh, it's member refresh time, isn't it? Boris has been a member for a very long time. It is dark mode me, that is true. 20 months. Nearly 2 years. Nearly 2 years you've been supporting me. Thank you! Crazy. I have dedicated people, and I am lucky, and I really appreciate it. Thank you all. A lady just saw a sad, pathetic knight in front of a door and decided to take him in like a stray cat. Yes! Oh my god, I literally saw a TikTok about that recently, about a princess who takes in a bedraggled knight just because she's like, I'll look after him, I swear. I'll feed him. I'll make sure he's not got worms. I'll take him to the apothecary. On the morrow, he rose and heard mass, and having broken his fast, took his leave and departed. And as he rode past a certain mountain, there met him a knight named Sir Bendelaine, and cried unto him, Thou shalt not pass unless thou joust with me or be my prisoner. Then we joust. I'm here to joust or take prisoners, and I'm all out of jousts. I'm just paying my fee to the people who won't be chased by a British lady reading at them with educational intent. I need to keep that as a tagline for a stream at some point. I'm gonna copy paste that into a note and then forget what that note is probably at some point, but at least I'll have it. And then I'll see it one day and I'll be like, why does that exist? Replied Sir Gareth. So they let their horses run at full speed, and Sir Gareth smote Sir Bedivere through his body so sorely that he scarcely reached his castle ere he fell dead. And as Sir Gareth presently came by the castle, Sir Bedelaine's knights and servants rode out to revenge their lord, and 20 of them fell upon him at once, although his spear was broken. But drawing his sword, he put his shield before him, and though they brake their spears upon him, one and all, and sorely pressed on him, yet ever he defended himself like a noble knight. Anon, finding they could not overcome him, they agreed to slay his horse, and having killed it with their spears, they set upon Gareth as he fought on foot. But every one he struck he slew, and drove them with fearful blows, till he had slain them all but 4, who fled. Then taking the horses of one of those that laid there dead, he rode upon his way. Nobility don't want you to know the knights are public domain, and you could adopt them. Got like 20 of them in the barracks. Just managing 20 knights literally tripping and falling on top of him while he's just like, get off, yo! Yeah, basically. Anon he came to another I love just how many castles there are. I know we're England, and England, Britain, Scotland, we have a lot of castles. I will not deny. I've been to quite a few, like, at least 5 or 6 castles myself in my life. But they're not within walking distance of each other. Good lord. Anon he came to another castle, and heard from within sounds as of many women moaning and weeping. Oh my! And said he to a page who stood without, What noise is this I hear? Sir Knight, he said, there be within 30 ladies, the widows of 30 knights who have been slain by the lord of this castle. He is called the Brown Knight, without pity, and is the most perilous knight living. Therefore I warn thee to flee. You mean I live in a library. You know this already. Just British headcanon chat. It sounds like saying I have a castle and saying I have a tin of biscuits. In this version of Britain, it is like that. You've only seen the castles that survived Sir Gareth. That's true, to be fair. I don't think this castle's gonna survive Sir Gareth, I have a feeling. That I will never do, said Sir Gareth, for I fear him not. Then the page saw the brown knight coming and said to Gareth, Lo, my lord is near. So both knights made them ready and galloped their horses towards each other, and the brown knight breaks his spear upon Gareth's shield, but Gareth smote him through the body so that he fell dead. At that he rode into the castle and told the ladies he had slain their foe. Then were they right glad of heart, and made him all the cheer they could, and thanked him out of measure. But on the morrow, as he went to mass, he found the ladies weeping in the chapel upon divers tombs that were there, and he knew that in those tombs their husbands lay. Then he bade them be comforted, and with noble and high words he desired and prayed them to be at Arthur's court at the next feast of Pentecost. I'm bringing the bitches. We're bringing the widows to Pentecost. All right, here your names. Mr. White Knight, you're Mr. Brown Knight, you're Mr. Pink Knight. Why do I gotta be pink? Smote is a word you're gonna hear a lot in this stream. So he departed and rode past a mountain, where was a goodly knight waiting, who said to him, Abide, Sir Knight, and joust with me. So if you don't find a castle in England, you're gonna find a knight who randomly wants to joust with you. That is the two most common things to find in the country, apparently. According to this book. Wandering knights or errant castles. How are ye named? Said Sir Gareth. I am Duke de la Rose, answered he. In good sooth, then, said Sir Gareth, not long ago I lodged within your castle, and there promised I would yield to you whenever we might meet. Art thou that proud knight, said the Duke, who was ready to fight with me? Guard thyself, therefore, and make ready. So they ran together, and Sir Gareth smote the Duke from his horse, then alighted and drew their swords, and fought full sorely for the space of an hour, and at the last Sir Gareth smote the Duke to the earth, and would have slain him, but he yielded. Then must ye go, said Sir Gareth, to my lord King Arthur at the next feast of Pentecost, and say that I, Sir Gareth, sent ye. As ye will be it, said the Duke, and gave him up his shield for pledge. He's just doing everything Lancelot did, where he's just like collecting people to show off at Pentecost. At the yearly night gala, he must show off his skills. And as Sir Gareth rode alone, he saw an armed knight coming towards him. Oh look, more knights! He departed and came upon a knight who said to him, "Abide, sir, and play Yu-Gi-Oh with me, a children's card game." And so Gareth activated his trap card and smote the Duke of his life points. Indubitably. And coming towards him, and putting the Duke's shield before him, he rode fast to tilt with him, and so they ran together, as it had been thunder, and break their spears upon each other. Then fought they fiercely with their swords, and lashed together with such mighty strokes that blood ran to the ground on every side. And after they had fought together for 2 hours more, it chanced the damsel Lynette passed that way, and when she saw them she cried out, "Sir Gawain and Sir Gareth, leave your fighting, for ye are brethren." At that they threw away their shields and swords, and took each other in their arms, and wept a great while ere they could speak, and gave to each other the honour of the battle, and there was many a kind word between them. Then said Sir Gawain, "O my brother, for your sake I have I had great sorrow and labour, but truly I would honour you, though through ye were not my brother, for ye have done great worship to King Arthur and his court, and sent more knights to him than any of the Round Table, except Sir Lancelot." It's like Pokemon before it was a thing. Wandering around a castle, random knights just appear to battle you. Then you capture them, and they sit around at the round table to discuss how they smoke foes. It really is! It absolutely is Pokemon. This is Night Pokemon. Oh my god. This is a game idea! We should just make this whole... I should be making Pokemon. I should be making nightly Pokemon. Gave each other many smooches. Yes, probably. Many brotherly smooches. Then the damsel, Lynette, staunched their wounds, and their horses were weary. She rode her palfrey to King Arthur, and told him of this strange adventure. When she told her tidings, the king himself mounted his horse, and bade all come with him to meet them. So a great company of lords and ladies went forth to meet the brothers, and when King Arthur saw them, he would have spoken hearty words for gladness. He could not, and both Sir Gawain and Sir Gareth fell down at their uncle's knees, and did him homage, and there was passing great joy and gladness among them. You are giving me ideas. You always give me ideas. You play as a knight from a small town, and Lancelot is the mean rival you have to defeat at the end. We should make a game where you summon legendary knights to fight for you, and when you win, you get the Holy Grail. Wait a minute! Anyone watching Fake Strange is good. It's fake and it's strange. Then said the king to damsel Lynette, "Why cometh not the Lady Lyons to visit her knight Sir Gareth, who hath had such trivial for her love?" "She knoweth not, my lord, that he is here," replied the damsel, "for truly she desireth greatly to see him." "Go ye and bring her hither," said the king. So the damsel rode to tell her sister where Sir Gareth was. And when she heard it, she rejoiced full heartily, and came with all the speed she could. And when Sir Gareth saw her, there was great joy and comfort between them. Then the king asked Sir Gareth whether he would have the lady for his wife. "My lord," replied Sir Gareth, "know well that I love her above all ladies living." Now, fair lady, what say ye? Most noble king, she answered, Sir Lord Gareth is an absolute dumbass who just keeps running off on me, is my first love and shall be my last, and if I may not have him for my husband, I will have none. I choose this dumbass. Those yowie hands will be put to good use. Then the king said to them, Be well assured that for my crown I would not be the cause of parting your two hearts. Then was high preparation made for the marriage, for the king desired it should be at Michaelmas, next following at Kinkadon by the sea. So Sir Gareth sent out messages to all the knights whom he had overcome in battle, that they should be there upon his marriage day. Therefore at the Mishamans came a goodly company to Kinkledon by the sea, and there did the Archbishop of Canterbury marry Sir Gareth and Lady Lyons with all solemnity, and all the knights whom Sir Gareth had overcome were at the feast, and every manner of revels and games was held with music and minstrelsy. And there was a great jousting for 3 days, but because of his bride, the king would not suffer Sir Gareth to joust. And then did King Arthur give great lands and fair, with store of gold to Sir Gareth and his wife, that so they might live royally together to their lives' end. The end. So Sir Gareth got a whole, like, marriage and happy ever after. After his very confusing antics. My emotional support dumbass. Indeed he is. But chapter, could you guess how many does this seventh stream of this? What are we on? I don't know numbers. Yeah, stream 7. We're 56% of the way through this book. It's going to take a hot minute. So this is theoretically about halfway. So 12 streams this might take to get through. Good time. Still better story than Wuthering Heights 2026? Yeah, it is. The Adventures of Sir Tristram of Lyonesse. Arthur and friends were so busy with shenanigans. Indeed they were. Google. I feel like I should just have Google Translate up in general for these streams, you know? Lyonesse, be our guest. Again, King Arthur held the high festival at Carlion at Pentecost, and gathered round him all the fellowship of the Round Table, and so, according to his custom, sat and waited till some adventure should arise, or some knight return to court whose deeds and perils might be told. Anon he saw Sir Lancelot and a crowd of knights coming through the doors, and leading into their midst the mighty knight Sir Tristram. As soon as King Arthur saw him, he rose up and went through half the hall, and held out both hands and cried, Right welcome thee, good Sir Tristram, as welcome art thou as any knight that ever came before into this court. A long time I have wished for thee amongst my fellowship. Sir Leon Kennedy of Raccoon City. Who is gonna be doing shenanigans again? I look forward to Leon Sex Kennedy again. I look forward to watching someone play that game, the next Resident Evil. Then the king took Sir Tristram by the hand and led him to the round table, and said, "Welcome again for one of the best and gentlest knights in all the world. A chief in war, a chief in peace, a chief in field and forest, a chief in the ladies' chamber, right heart." A chief in the ladies' chamber? Oh my. "Right heartily welcome to this court, and mayest thou long abide in it." Well. When he had so said, he looked at every empty seat until he came to what had been Sir Maurus, and there he found written in gold letters, "This is the seat of the noble knight Sir Tristram," whereat they made him, with great cheer and gladness, a fellow of the round table. Now the story of Tristram was as follows. This is scandalous. It was scandalous. Leon, bro, aren't you like 20 years too old for that haircut, Kennedy? No! Leon can pull off anything. Leon's for the gals. You don't understand. There was a king of Linus named Meliodas. Like, I know the Seven Deadly Sins cast was all based off this, but I wasn't exactly like 100% familiar with all the names, but I didn't know Meliodas and Elizabeth were a thing here as well. King Meliodas. Married to the sister of King Mark of Cornwall, a right fair lady, and a good. She's a good, she is. And so it happened that King Meliodas, hunting in the woods, was taken by enchantment and made prisoner in a castle. When his wife Elizabeth heard it, she was nigh mad with grief, and ran into the forest to seek out her lord. But after many days of wandering and sorrow, she found no trace of him, and laid her down in a deep valley, and prayed to meet her death. And so indeed she did. Well, Elizabeth didn't last very long in this one. But ere she died, she gave birth. Ah, so that explains why Tristram's the protagonist of like the next lot. That makes sense. In the midst of all her sorrow, a child, a boy, called him with her last breath Tristram, for she said, "His name shall show how sadly he hath come into the world." Therewith she gave up her ghost, and the gentlewoman who was with her took the child and wrapped it in cold as well as she was able, and wrapped it from the cold as well as she was able, and lay down with it in her arms beneath the shadow of a tree hard by, expecting death to come to her in turn. Is stream not working? Yes, YouTube. Good on your end? Oh, okay. It's just Dread Excalibur, your internet's naff. Stream health. Yeah, YouTube says it's good too. It's all good. No problem. I would prefer you say something if something's going wrong, so please do not apologize for notifying me of potential errors in the stream. Unnaff your internet. Hi, Benjamin! I've been walking for about an hour, and I saw nary a single Brady April cheetah. Did you see any castles or a knight that wanted to joust you? I heard that pretty obvious too. But shortly after came a company of lords and barons seeking for the queen, and found the lady with child, and took them home. And on the next day came King Meliodas, whom Merlin had delivered. And then, when he heard of the queen's death, his sorrow was greater than tongue can tell, and anon he buried her solemnly and nobly, and called the child Tristram, as she had desired. Then for 7 years King Meliodas mourned and took no comfort. In all that time young Tristram was well nourished, but in a while he wedded with the daughter of Howell, king of Brittany, who, that her own child might enjoy the kingdom, cast about in her mind how she might destroy Tristram. So on a certain day she put poison in a silver cup, where Tristram and her children were together playing, that when he was athirst, he might drink of it and die. But so it happened that her own son saw the cup, and, thinking it must hold good drink, he climbed and took it, and drank deeply of it, and suddenly thereafter burst and fell down dead. Well, that's why you don't try poison children, woman! I love how this woman hasn't gotten, like, a name yet. We just know she's a person. King of Brittany and down to the kingdom of Spears. He was a great musician, slightly dyslexic. Who let in King Meliodas? Meliodas! Dragon sin of wrath. When the king heard that her grief was very great, but her anger and envy were fiercer than ever before, and soon again she put more poison in the cup, and by chance one day her husband, finding it, when thirsty, took it up, and was about to drink therefrom, when, seeing him, she sprang up with a mighty cry and dashed it from his hands. At that King Meliodas, wondering greatly, called to mind the sudden death of his young child, and taking her fiercely by the hand, cried, "Traitress! Tell me what drink is in this cup, or I shall slay thee in a moment." And therewith, pulling out his sword, he swore by a great oath to slay her if she straightway told him not the truth. "Ah, mercy, lord," said she, and fell down to his feet. "Mercy, and I will tell thee all." And then she told him of her plot to murder Tristram, that her own sons might enjoy the kingdom. "The law shall judge thee," said the king. And so anon she was tried before the barons and condemned to be burnt to death. That's what I get for murdering children. Hi, Maxwell. It's just white monster, I swear. Oh no, my son drank poison from the cup. Better refill it and leave it lying around so my intended target can come across it. Yeah, they say poison is the woman's weapon, but even that can be used terribly. But when the fire was made, and she brought out, came Tristram kneeling at his father's feet, and besought him of a favour. "Whatsoever thou desire, I will give," said the king. "Give me the life, then, of the queen, my stepmother." "Thou dost wrong to ask it," said Meliodas, "for she would have slain thee with her poisons if she could, and chiefly for thy sake she ought to die." "Sir," said he, "as for that, I beseech thee of thy mercy to forgive her, and for my part may God pardon her as I do, and so I pray thee grant me my boon, and for God's sake hold thee to thy promise." That reminds me of a quote from the legendary Galactic Heroes, because it's clearly bad, both morally and politically, to kill a 7-year-old. It absolutely is! When you're right, you're right. Yep. Well, he's still a child in this bit, as far as I know, which is why I gave him the little voice. For the little person, because I think he's still a kid in this one. Like, it's been a few years, but still a kid. "If it must be so," said the king, "take thou her life, For to thee I give it, and go and do with her as thou wilt. Then went young Tristram to the fire, and loosed the queen from all her bonds, and delivered her from death. And after a great while, by his good means, the king again forgave, and lived in peace with her, though never more in the same lodgings. Anon was Tristram sent abroad to France, in care of one named Gouvernail. And there, for 7 years, he learned the language of the land, and all knightly exercises and gentle crafts, and especially was he foremost in music and in hunting, and was a harper beyond all others. And when at 19 years of age he came back to his father, he was as lusty and strong of body, as noble of heart, as ever man was seen. Now shortly after his return, it befell that King of Anguish of Ireland sent to King Mark of Cornwall for the tribute due to Ireland, but which was now 7 years behind. To whom King Mark sent his answer, if he would have it, he must send and fight for it, and they would find a champion to fight against it. So King Anguish called for King Mahardus is his wife's brother, a good knight of the Round Table. Oh, so this is the guy who Tristram took the seat of. Lusty. Yeah, that's the word they used. Who lived at his court, and sent him with a knightly retinue in 6 great ships to Cornwall, and casting anchor by the castle Tintagel, he sent up daily to King Mark for the tribute or the champion. But no knight there would venture to assail him, for his fame was very high in all the realm for strength and hardihood. Then made King Mark a proclamation through Cornwall, that if any knight would fight Sir Mahardus, he should stand at the knight's right hand for evermore, and have great honour and riches all the rest of his days. Anon his news came to the land of Lyonese, and when young Tristram heard it, he was angry and ashamed to think no knight of Cornwall durst assail the Irish champion. Alas, said he, that I am not a knight, that I might match this Mahardus. I pray you give me leave, sir, to depart to King Mark's court, to beg of his grace to make me knight. Be ruled by thy own courage, said his father. So Tristram rode away forthwith to Tintagel, to King Mark, and went up boldly and said to him, Sir, give me the order of knighthood, and I will fight to the utmost with King Mahardus of Ireland. What are ye, and whence come ye? Said the king, seeing that he was but a young man, though strong and well made both in body and limb. My name is Tristram, he said. I was born in the country of Lyonesse. I said it right before, and now I can't remember how I said it. It's the biggest problem. I like do it, and then I forget it. But know ye, said the king, this Irish knight will fight with none who be not come of royal blood, near kin of kings or queens, as he himself, for his sister is the Queen of Ireland. Then, said Tristram, let him know that I am come of both, on my father and mother's side, of blood as good as his, for my father is King Meliodas, and my mother is that Queen Elizabeth, thy sister, who died in the forest at my birth. Then King Mark heard that. When King Mark heard that, he welcomed him with all his heart, and knighted him forthwith, and made him ready to go forth as soon as he would choose, and armed him royally in armour covered with gold and silver. Yeah, Queen Elizabeth. Indeed, Elizabeth I. No, probably not Elizabeth I. A Elizabeth. Many Elizabeths. Definitely not Herb, though. Not Elizabeth Roseblood Flynn. That is much for sure. Since I'm pretty sure she didn't go die in a hole while pregnant. I don't think she'd do well in Hololive if she was dead. But then, I suppose there's a lot of dead people in Hololive, so I probably shouldn't judge. I can think of at least 2. Wasn't Elizabeth II's mother also called Queen Elizabeth? Yeah. One of the Elizabeths all time. That would be insane backstory. Herb is Sir Tristram's mum. Reincarnated or some shit. I don't know. Come here, microphone stand. There we go. Ba, ba, ba. When Sir Mahardus and Sir Tristram were thus left alone, Sir Mahardus said, "Young knight Sir Tristram, what dost thou here? I am full sorry for thy rashness, for thy oft times have been assailed in vain, and by the best knights of the world. Be warned, return to them that sent thee." "Fair knight, and well-proved knight," replied Sir Tristram, "be sure that I shall never quit this quarrel till one of us be overcome. For this cause have I been made knight. And thou shalt know before we part, that though as yet unproven, I am a king's son, and first-born of a queen. Moreover, I have promised to deliver Cornwall from this ancient burden, or to die. Also thou shouldest have known, Sir Mahardus, that thy valour and thy might are but the better reasons why I should assail thee. For whether I win or lose, I shall gain honour to have met so great a knight as thou art." Queen of Gregs is the one true queen. Yes, very much true. The country runs off 2 things. Tea and sausage rolls. So, the Queen of Gregs is at least half a queen. The Queen of Yorkshire tea? Probably the second queen. There'll be 2 queens of England, I think. Queen of what is irrelevant. She could be the Queen of Gregs. There are a heck of a lot of kings and queens in this as well. Then they began the battle and tilted at their hardest against each other, so that both knights and horses fell to the earth. But Sir Mahardus' spear smote Sir Tristram a great wound in the side. Then springing up from their horses, they lashed together with their swords like 2 wild boars. And when they had stricken together a great while, they left off strokes and lunged at one another's breasts and visors. But seeing this availed not, they hurled together again to bear each other down. Duchess of Tea and Lord of Gregs. Correct. Yuri Queens? Yeah, why not? It's 2026. We can have some Yuri Queens, right? Now, the Queen of Maltesers would have a place in the court, but I don't think she'd be a high-ranking queen. She's still important, though. We do love a Malteser. Thus fought they more than half the day, till both were sorely spent, and blood ran from them on the ground on every side. But by this time Sir Tristram remained fresher than Sir Mahardus. I'm going to say Mahardus. I know it was wrong, but that's where we are. Countess and Maltese is correct. Sorry, I just had this thought. We're building... You know how, like, in Cyberpunk, they have it that, like, the corporations have taken over? We're basically doing the high fantasy version of that, where we have the court of corporations, rather than, like... them just owning everything, they have become a literal royal court. Corporate court. Why is this not a thing? There must be a cyberpunk book somewhere with the court of corporation. The corpo court. And not even that being a nickname, being literal. Fresher than Mahadas and better winded, and with a mighty stroke he smote him such a buffet as cut through his helm into his brain pan, and there his sword struck so in so fast that thrice Sir Tristram pulled ere he could not get it from his head. Then fell Sir Mahadas down upon his knees, and the edge of Sir Tristram's sword broke off into his brain pan, and suddenly, when he seemed dead, Sir Mahadas rose and threw his sword and shield away from him, and ran and fled into a ship. And Sir Tristram cried out after him, "Ah! Sir Knight of the Round Table, dost thou withdraw thee from so young a knight? It is a shame to thee that all thy kin I would rather have been hewn into 100 pieces than have fled from thee." But Sir Mahadas answered nothing, and sorely groaning, probably having a bit of a lobotomy from that, fled away. Time to kick off the corporation war of 2040, I mean 1040. Waffle House is more like an ancient tribe in Mongolia. Yeah, Waffle House doesn't exist in the UK, so I can't say they would be part of the UK Court of Corporations. I've never been to a Waffle House, nor have I seen one with my own eyes. So I have no idea where they would be. The Duke of Tea Cakes, the Countess of Kit Kats, and the Prince of Fish and Chips. Now, the Prince of Fish and Chips would be very annoyed because he used to be our national dish. However, the Princess of Chicken Tikka Masala has absolutely kicked him off, and now we have a curry as our national dish. "Farewell, Sir Knight, farewell," laughed Tristram, whose own voice was hoarse and faint with blood loss. "I have thy sword and shield in my safe keeping, and I will bear them in all places where I ride on my adventures, and before King Arthur and the Round Table." I heard tales of Waffle House, but never been to one. A friend once told me the vibes at 3 AM was something you can't experience anywhere else. The Prince of Curry married from a distant land called India. The Earl of Jellied Eels. He's a rival of the Earl of Spotted Dick. Grand Duke of Jaffa Cakes! Ah, one of my favourites, the Grand Duke of Jaffa Cakes. We love him. He's a good guy, but we can never... He's a bit shifty, because you can never tell whether he's a bicky or a cake. Sometimes he can be a bit soft. Sometimes he can be a bit hard. You can't tell if he's a bicky or a cake. He keeps lying. He'll never tell you. Then was Sir Mahadas taken back to Ireland by his company, and as soon as he arrived his wounds were searched, and when they searched his head they found therein a piece of Tristram's sword, but all the skilled surgeons was in vain to move it out. So, anon, Sir Mahadas died. Bro lodged a bit of his sword in his brain. But the queen, his sister, took the piece of sword blade and put it safely by, for she thought that some day it might help her to revenge her brother's death. Meanwhile, Sir Tristram, being sorely wounded, sat down softly on a little mound, and bled passing fast. And in that evil case was found anon Gouvernail and King Mark's knights. Then they gently took him up, and brought him in a barge back to the land, and lifted him into a bed within the castle, and had his wounds dressed carefully. Classic medieval brain surgery. But for a great while he lay sorely sick, and was likely to have died of the first stroke Sir Mahadas had given him with the spear, for the point of it was poisoned, and though the wisest surgeon and leeches, both men and women, came from every part, yet he be by no means cured. At last came a wise lady, and said plainly that Sir Tristram never should be healed until he went and stayed in that same country whence the poison came. When this was understood, the king sent Sir Tristram in a fair and goodly ship to Ireland, and by fortune he arrived fast by a castle where the king and queen were, and as the ship was being anchored, he sat upon his bed, and harpened a merry lay, and made so sweet music that was never equalled. Just so you don't have too many splashes down there in the gutter, it was stated that he could play the harp very well. So he played the harp well and had a good time. The Baron of Pound Cake has long been underappreciated. He has. So simple, so wonderful. Absolutely underappreciated. When the king heard that the sweet harper was a wounded knight, he sent for him and asked his name. I am of the country of Lyonesse, he answered. My name is Tramtrist. For he dared not tell his true name, lest the vengeance of the queen should fall upon him for her brother's death. Then pick a better name and pretend to be from somewhere else, you idiot. Well, said King Anguish, thou art right welcome here, and shall have all the help this land can give thee. But be not anxious, if I am at times cast down and sad. For but lately in Cornwall the best knight in the world, fighting for my cause, was slain. His name was Sir Mahadas, a knight of King Arthur's Round Table. And then he told Sir Tristram all the story of King Mahadas' battle, and Sir Tristram made pretence of great surprise and sorrow, though he knew all far better than the king himself. Not the greatest harp lay in the world. No, this is just a tribute. How many times has Tenacious D come up in this stream? Surprisingly, twice. Cardinal Skitty. Oh, I love Cardinal Skitty. Cardinal Spag Bowl. They hadn't really invented lying back then. I see. It was the best he could do. Pope Pasta the Fifth. Yes! Sir Mashed Potato. King Potato and all his knights, which is like mashed potato, chips, and all that stuff. Then he was put in charge of the king's daughter, La Belle Isolte, to be healed of his wounds. And she was as fair and noble a lady as men's eyes might see, and so marvellously was skilled in medicine that in a few days she fully cured him, and in return Sir Tristram taught her the harp. So before long the two began to love each other greatly. But at that time, by heathen knight Sir Palomides, who was in Ireland and much cherished by the king and queen, he also loved mightily Sir Belle Isolte. Assault. Lasagna night! Yes! Don't forget Doge Pizza. Pizza deserves an earldom at least. El Pizza. That evil cardinal whispered to the king. Cardinal hot dogs. No. Cardinal hot dogs cannot... Is it at war with Cardinal Burger? They're both very similar, yet so different. And never wearied making her great gifts and seeking her for favour, and was ready even to be christened for her sake. Sir Tristram therefore hated him out of measure, and Sir Palomides was full of rage and envy against Tristram. Fight, 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 fight. And so it befell that King Anguish proclaimed a great tournament to be held, the prize whereof should be a lady, called the Lady of the Lords, of near kindred, to be the king, and her, the winner of the tournament, shall be wed in 3 days afterwards, and possess all her lands. When La Belle Isoult told Sir Tristram of the tournament, he said, Fair lady, I am yet a feeble knight, and but for thee had been a dead man now. What wouldest thou I should do? Would knowest well I may not joust. Ah, Tristram, said she, why wilt thou not fight in this tournament? Sir Palomides will be there, and will do his mightiest, and therefore be thou there, I pray thee, or else he will be winner of the prize. Madam, said Tristram, I will go for thy sake, will do my best, but let me go unknown to all men, and do thou, I pray thee, keep my counsel, and help me disguise. Count bangers and mash, whee! Tsar goulash, yes, we allowed Tsar goulash in, we do love a goulash. Who doesn't love a meaty stew? Are you implying the Queen of Sausage Rolls isn't the Queen of Sausage Rolls is real? How dare you? She's real. She's all of this is real. The Count of Corpos is real. The Court of Corpos is in session. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. So, on the day of jousting came Sir Palomides with a black shield, and overthrew many knights, and all the people wondered at his prowess. For on the first day he put to worse Sir Gawain, Sir Gaheris, Sir Agravain, Sir Key, and many more from far and near. And on the morrow he was conqueror again, and overthrew the king with 100 knights, and the king of Scotland. But presently Sir Tristram rode up to the listings, having been let out of his privy postern of the castle, where none could see. La Belle Isoult had dressed him in white armour, and given him a white horse and shield, and so he came suddenly into the field, as it had been a bright angel. Oh, that explains his design. So I know I don't think we've had a Sir Tristram in Grand Order, but we do have a Tristram in Seven Deadly Sins, because Meliodas is the main character, and Elizabeth are both the main characters of Seven Deadly Sins. And they had Tristram as a kid. And I thought they just made him look like his mum, because his mum had white hair. But this is why they gave her white hair, and made him angel connected. Now I know. Tristram is different from Tristan? I don't know, you know? Have we had a mention of Tristan yet? I'm gonna give that a quick Google. Sir Tristram and Sir Tristan. Okay, so Tristan is Tristram. It is the same person. Tristan, also known as Tristran or Tristram. So yeah, this is Tristan. Is Seven Deadly Sins based on Arthurian characters? Yes. Yes, it is. You've got Ban and Elaine, which are the parents of Sir Lancelot. So they have a kid, eventually, called Sir Lancelot. Obviously, Merlin is one of the Seven Deadly Sins in it. I don't know about some of the other characters. Like I said, my Arthurian knowledge is mostly based off Fate Go. I thought we hadn't had a Tristram in Fate Go, but I didn't realise that Tristram was the same one. So, yeah, I'm wrong. Time to watch a man get poisoned, I guess. Again. I didn't realise Twisted and Twistworm was the same, okay? As soon as Sir Palamedes saw him, he ran at him with a great spear in rest, but Sir Tristram was ready, and at the first encounter hurled him to the ground. Then there arose a great cry that the knight with the black shield was overthrown, and Sir Palamedes, sorely hurt and ashamed, sought out a secret way, and would have fled the field. But Sir Tristram watched him and rode after him, and bade him stay, for he had not yet done with him. Then Sir Palamedes turned with fury, and lashed out at Sir Tristram with his sword. But at the first stroke Sir Tristram smote him to the earth, and cried, "Do now all my commands, or take thy death!" Then he yielded Sir Tristram's mercy, and promised to forsake La Belle Isoult, for 12 months to wear no arms or armour. And rising up, he cut his armour off him into shreds, with rage and madness, and turned and left the field. And Sir Tristram also left the lists, and rode back to the castle through the postern gate. Sir Crisps of Salt and Vinegar, Sir Crisps of Cheese and Onion, absolutely at war. They're being watched from afar by Ready Salted and Prawn Cocktail. Both are crushed by the great cowboy chips of barbecue. Not in the UK, they're not. I do prefer my Max Ridged steak crisps. I like the steak crisps, which is basically beef flavored, I guess. Then was Sir Tristram long cherished by the King and Queen of Ireland, and ever with La Belle Isoult. But on a certain day, while he was bathing, came the Queen with La Belle Isoult by chance into his chamber, and saw his sword lie naked on the bed. Anon she drew it from the scabbard, and looked at it a long while, and both thought it as a passing fair sword. But within 1.5 foot of the end was a great piece broken out, and while the Queen was looking at the gap, she suddenly remembered the piece of a sword blade that was found in the brain pan of her brother Sir Mahardus. She were there within, turned and cried, "By faith, this is the felon knight who slew thy uncle!" And running to her chamber, she sought in her casket for the piece of iron from Sir Mahardus's head, and brought it back, and fitted it to Sir Tristram's sword, and surely did it fit therein as closely as it had been but yesterday broke out. Then the Queen caught the sword up fiercely in her hands, and ran into the room where Sir Tristram was yet in his bath, and made straight for him, had run him through the body, and had not his squire Sir Herbs got her in arms, and pulled the sword away from her. She just tried to kill a man in his bath. Saucy sword. Shreds, you say? And what about his armor? To shreds, you say? Oh, Sir Tristram, your sword is so naked, just hanging out. god, guys. Man is metal sword. What are you even thinking about? Then ran she to the king and fell upon her knees before him, saying, Lord and husband, thou hast here in thy house that felon knight who slew my brother Semahardus. Who is it? Said the knight. It is Sir Tristram, she said, whom Iseult hath healed. Alas, replied the knight, I am full grieved thereat, for he is a good knight, as ever I have seen in any field. But I charge thee, leave thou him, and let me deal with him. Then the king went to Sir Tristram's chambers, and found him all armed, ready to mount his horse, and said to him, Sir Tristram, it is not to prove me against thee I come, for it were shameful of thy host to seek thy life. Depart in peace, but tell me first thy name, and whether thou slewest my brother Sir Mahardus. Then Sir Tristram told him all the truth, how he had hid his name to be unknown in Ireland, and when he had ended, the king declared he held him no blame. Howbeit I cannot, for mine honour's sake, retain thee in this court, for so I should displease my barons, my wife, and all her kin. Yes, this is the King of Ireland. We've been staying at the King of Ireland's castle at the moment. Sir, said Sir Tristram, I thank thee for the goodness thou hast shown me here, for the great goodness my lady, thy daughter, hath shown me, and it may chance to be more for thy advantage if I live than if I die. For wheresoever I may be, I shall ever seek thy service, and shall be my lady, thy daughter's servant in all places, and her knight in right and wrong, and shall never fail to do for her as much as knight can do. Then Sir Tristram went to Sir La Belen's Iseult, and took his leave of her. O gentle knight, she said, full of grief I am at your departing, for never yet I saw a man who loved me so well. Madame, said he, I promise faithfully that all my life I shall be your knight. With the number of royals running about, possibility is clearly certain the bride is descended from royalty. Nope. I know. My nan apparently did some research into our family tree way back. Didn't find royalty, but found rebellion. And I had ancestors that rebelled against the crown. But as far as I know, no actual crowns. Maybe they rebelled because they were the true king and queens. I am from the rebelling side. One of my ancestors had their head chopped off and put on a spike. That is my family's claim to fame. Failed rebellion. That to complete the journey. I don't know the specifics, and I don't want to give you many specifics. Not that I think you could track me, but I feel like talking about my family too much in detail is probably not a good idea. So I'm not going to tell you what castle, but it did happen. They rebelled because they looked at the future and saw Andrew when we... Hey, at least we're putting him in prison now. At least we arrested him. Whether he goes to prison is another question, but at least we arrested him. All monarchs are usurpers and descendants of usurpers. True. Exactly. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but that's enough. There are a few people who've had their heads put on spikes. I don't know which one it is either, to be honest, so... Then Sir Tristram gave her a ring, and she gave him another, and after that he left her, weeping and lamenting, and went among the barons, and openly took his leave of all of them, saying, Fair lords, it so befalleth that I now must depart hence. Therefore, if there be any here whom I have offered, or who is aggrieved with me, say him now. Let him now say it, and before I go, I will amend it to the utmost of my power. And if there be but one who would speak shame of me behind my back, let him say it now or never. And here is my body to prove it on. Body against body. Oh my. I managed to trace my tree 6 generations back, and everyone was a peasant living in roughly the same area. And surprisingly, I found a loop. A time loop? That's fun. It's kind of fun with the idea, at least you're like a true local of the area. My family sort of moved from one end of the country to the other, like my parents did. So I'm not from around where I grew up. So I don't have those kind of roots, so it's kind of got to be fun in a way. Real M. Bison moment, when your ancestor's head was stuck on a spike. It was the defining moment of your family. For me, it was Tuesday. Tracking my ancestry is a pain because it will be a trip around the world from Spain to China. I envy Europeans in this regard, because y'all could just go across the pond and say, that's our ancestor. I don't have to go across the pond. Like, I think my mom did one of those ancestry tests and was like, British as British could be. And I don't think my dad's side is any different. So I don't think our ancestry is very interesting. It might be because of Britain getting invaded a lot. But I doubt we've moved much from this country. 2 of my great-grandparents moved to Brazil and came back to the same place. Oh, that's funny. They tried to escape, but they were like, nah, this is the town. My family has literally been in Italy since the Roman era. My last name literally translates to beloved little sister. Aww, that's cute. British vibes, 100% British, 2% Martian. Correct. Absolutely. I personally haven't done one of those DNA tests or anything, but it is most likely that I am British, and more British. English, and more English. Probably even, like, not even just British, probably very specifically English. Anyway. Phantom comes from a family of emotos. Emoto-sized phantom. My family's last name means the arrival. That's very ominous, howdy. Mine just means we craft shit. A smeef. We craft shit. But it's pretty cool. Some of you are having like really deep roots where you live. Like I said, I've never had that, so I think maybe it probably feels boring to you, but to me that sounds really cool. And all stood and said no word, though some there were of the queen's kindred who would have assailed him had they dared. So Sir Tristram departed from Ireland and took the sea and came a fair wind to Tintagel. And when the news came to King Mark that Sir Tristram was returned, healed of his wounds, he was passing glad, and so were all his barons. And when he had visited the king, his uncle, he rode to his father, King Meliodas, and there had all the heartiest welcome that could be made him. And both the king and queen gave largely to him of their lands and goods.
Anon he came to King Mark's court, and there lived in great joy and pleasure, till within a while the king grew jealous of his fame, and the love and favour shown him by all damsels. Oh my. Tristram's a bit of a ladies' man. I'm Anglo-Saxon on one side of my family. That's cool. Mine means rock, because the place I come from has a lot of rocks. I mean, it's to the point. I'm English on one side of my family. I'm English on the other. So yeah, you and me, Benjamin, on the very English ancestry. On the British of all British ancestries. 'Tis a shame that my last name on my grandfather's side was lost. It literally meant perfection. Oh my god. If you could have, like, combined the two somehow. The arrival of perfection. That would have been so good. No, I can't. My mum's maiden name. Obviously, I'm not going to say what it was. But it was a somewhat of an unlucky name. So it's kind of funny that we've lost that one. To the most common. To a common name. Not quite the one I have, but a common name. We're getting too close. I'm slipping. Anyway. Still fun. Still fun hearing about you guys' stuff. You could have been Crusader Perfection. Oh my god. Anon. Then it befell upon him a certain day that the good knight of Sir Belle de Gaines, brother to Sir Bellamore de Gaines, and a nigh cousin to Sir Lancelot of the Lake, came to King Mark's court and asked him a favour. And though the king marvelled, seeing he was a man of great renown, and knight of the Round Table, he granted him all his asking. Then like I said, I ain't telling you what my mother's maiden name was. I'm just gonna say it was unlucky. and I'm kind of glad we don't have it. So Billy, I will have the fairest lady in your court at my own choosing. I may not say thee nay, replied the king. Choose therefore, but take the issue of thy choice. Take all the issues of thy choice. Sure, you can choose a lady, but she might come with baggage. Oh, sorry. So when he had looked around, he chose the wife of Sir Segwarides, Sir Sandwich. I'm going to call him Sir Sandwich. Oh, I get it. Unlucky in French is malchance. So she must have been called Lady Malchance. Maybe, maybe not. You'll never know. Earl Sandwich, and took her by the hand, and set her upon horseback behind his squire, and rode forth on his way. Presently thereafter came in the earl, and rode out straightway after him in rage. But all the ladies cried out shame upon Sir Tristram, that he had not gone, and one rebuked him foully, and called him coward knight, that he would stand and see a lady forced away from his uncle's court. But Sir Tristram answered her, Fair lady, it is not my place to take part in this quarrel, while her lord and husband is here to do it. Had he not been at this court, per adventure, I might been her champion. But if it so befall that he speed ill, then may it happen that I speak with that foul knight before he pass out of this realm. Anon ran in one Sir Sandwich's squires, and told that his master was sore wounded and at the point of death. Lord, that did not take long. When Sir Tristram heard that, he was soon armed on his horse, and Sir Governale, his servant, followed him with a with shield and spear. As he rode, he met his cousin Sir Andret, who had been commanded by Sir Mark to bring to him 2 knights of King Arthur's court, who roamed the country thereabouts seeking adventures. "What tidings?" said Sir Tristram. "God help me, never worse," replied his cousin, "for those I went to have been beaten and defeated me, and sent my message at naught." "Fair cousin," said Sir Tristram, "ride ye on your way, perchance, if I should meet them, ye may be revenged." I remember now, mother's side's last name was Gift of God, and my last name is The Arrival. My last name is now The Arrival of the Gift of God. Oh my god. What a title your family has, Howdy. Get damn. Crusader can walk at the party and say the God's gift to the event. You need to claim that confidence, Howdy. You are God's gift. You are God's gift to the world, to your family, to your girlfriend, to everything. So, Sir Andret rode into Cornwall, but Sir Tristram rode after the 2 knights who had misused him, namely Sir Sacramore el Desirous and Sir Dodinus le Savage, and before long he saw them but a little way before him. "Sir," said Sir Govinel, "by my advice thou wilt leave them alone, for they will be 2 well-proved knights of King Arthur's court." "Shall I not therefore rather meet them?" said Sir Tristram, and riding swiftly after them, he called to them to stop, and asked them whence they came, and whither they were going, and what they were doing in those marches. My surname combines is Light in the Forest Clearing. Ooh, that's very pretty. Not quite as domineering as The Arrival of God's Gift, but very pretty. More Fae-like. The light in the forest clearing. Cute. Cute. It is time. I absolutely is Fae coded. Don't trust Boris. Don't trust gifts from Boris. Wait a minute, I've been accepting gifts from Boris for a long time. Shit. Anyway, I do believe it is time. It's time to end the stream. Let me do that so we can see the whole screen. I do want to try something silly before we end. I stand up. What happens if I get off the cart? Will I just move along with it? I do. I just auto walk. Let me. You can't see me right now. Hello. 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 Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I need to like catch up. There we go. Anyway. Thank you so much, Em, for coming! You fell for the long con, Briny. I will replace your tea bags with ground up garlic. No! Don't do that! This you can't. I'll just die. Anyway. Thank you so much for coming! Thank you everyone in chat, thank anyone lurking, thank anyone watching the VOD. I really appreciate you coming, no matter which way you decided to view the stream. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have not already, I'd also highly appreciate it if you leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel! As I said before, if you liked me reading, then my next audiobook should be out next week. So if you search Briny Rose Smith on Audible, you will find a book called My Name is Princess Case that I narrated. And very soon you will see a second one called They Still Call Me Princess Case. I highly recommend you pick up the first one so you're ready for when the second one comes out. So give that a look, okay? I know I've spent like literally this whole week pushing it, but it's been something I've been working very hard on. So, you know, push. If you'd looked at that stuff, join the Discord. And I think that's it. There were no turnips on this road, no. This road went on forever. I will be back tomorrow with more Stars and Time. It's been nice to get back to regularly scheduled broadcast. That's supposed to be clapping, but it doesn't really work. Regularly scheduled broadcasting. Yay! Why are these emotes just so like extra? Whee! On the Discord, you did! I watched it, Normal Size Phantom. It was very good. And then I watched that person's video about the Nosferatu as well. And that was also very good. And I may be checking out more of that person's channel in general because they were all fascinating. And she presents the videos very well. And I needed videos like that at the time. In fact, it was wonderful timing when you put that up because I needed a distraction from life for a hot minute and it was good. So yeah, I'll be back both here and on Twitch with Stars and Time tomorrow. But until then, I had fun. I hope you had fun. This has been Bryony Smith and the Finn Library. Goodbye. Ba, 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 ba.